Good evening, everybody. My name's Michael Griffin of Stellar Media. Let me just show you who I am. My name is Michael Griffin of Stellar Media. This is my partner in crime, Lana Morris. This is a really big moment for me because I've been learning how to use YouTube Live, and do you know what? I thought I'd go into live streaming in a big way and talk to you all on the platforms that you're on. So that's really, really cool. It's my first ever multiple platform live streaming content, which is absolutely incredible. So welcome. And, tonight I thought what I would do is keep myself accountable. If you've got any questions, if you are a spiritual service entrepreneur, a spiritual service practitioner, and you have website questions, then ask the questions. Lana is the master website builder.
I wouldn't say that.
She's done a lovely website today, which is just unbelievable. I might even show you that later if she gives me permission to do that. But basically, if you have any questions at all around web design, around how to make the most out of your website, then just ask the question in the box. Okay, bottom line is that ask any question that you like. Put your question in the chat box, and I or Lana will do as much as we can to answer your question ASAP. Okay, so where am I going today? Where I'm going is I'm thinking that I need to create some new webinar pages. I say create some new webinar pages. We've already designed our webinar pages, and what we need to do is we're planning a webinar for next week on how to use the law of attraction to grow your business as a spiritual service practitioner. And so what I need to do is I just need to make some changes, some very small changes to the website, to the webinar page itself. The registration page is up and running. That's all okay. I need to change the thank you page, and I need to change the live page itself, so where the webinar is actually going to happen. What you can see down the bottom is the ticker. Subscribe on YouTube, like our page on Facebook at Stellar Media Co. I'm going to let that go along so I can read it, because I'm an old man now. These 99 pence ready readers don't work as well as they once did. Follow us on Twitter at Stellar Media Co. And there, what we're going to do is we're going to play different content on each platform, because we recognize that on each platform people like different things. All right, don't forget to watch us on Pinterest. Again, you can find us on Pinterest at pinterest.com/Stellar Media Co. And I think the last one, if I can remember correctly, is obviously YouTube. So all you've got to do to like our page or to subscribe to us is go to stellarmedia.co/YouTube. And there we will be posting a whole range of tutorials. Today we're talking about web design. We're talking about how to make the most out of your website. When the questions start coming in, don't hesitate to ask your question. We will get to them, I'm sure, very, very quickly tonight. This actually is quite comfortable for a first experience of multi-platform live streaming. And I'm aware the camera today, the webcam looks a little bit grainy. That's more to do, I think, with the weather in overcast Wales. But yeah, so bottom line is this is actually really nice. And I may be right now being watched by one person or 3,000. I don't know the answer to that question. But what I do know is that for a first experience of a multi-platform live stream, I actually feel quite comfortable, which is really, really nice. All right, so all you've got to do, don't forget, is if you can, don't forget to subscribe to stellarmedia.co/YouTube. Click the subscribe button and then the notification bell. And every time Stellar Media goes live, now that might be me or it might be the lady to my right. Lana, why don't you introduce yourself and just give people an understanding of who you are and what you do?
Okay, so, well, I've got two roles really. One is obviously we work together and we create websites for spiritual-based practitioners. And it's just been really...
It's incredible fun, and we laugh every single day.
Yeah.
There's a fair bit of banter. I think it's safe to say there's a fair bit of banter.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be fun, and I think that's been what's been so great with creating the websites, doing people's videos, their logos and graphics, and all the bits and pieces that people need to be a bit more visible, and help them with their business so that they can forget about all the techie stuff in some respects and get on with the healings and sessions and all the kind of spiritual stuff they do. So that's cool. And then my other hat is I'm a colour coach. So I do look at analysing colour and looking at what the meanings in the colour, including at people's logos and the colours that they use logos and what the subconscious meaning is in relation to the logo. Because as you'll know, your website is your virtual shop front. First impressions, your website counts. So depending on your telling your customer things that positive and positive attributes.
Yeah, and so for example, before we get into me doing a little bit of work on the website, you went to a networking meeting and there was a company that approached you and asked you to look at their business cards and also their branding across leaflets, their web design, pretty much their flyers and everything else that they would do to promote their business. Do you want to tell the story of the conversation that you had with that gentleman around his branding?
Yeah, well, it was really interesting because the colour scheme that had been chosen, and this is to do funerals, went into what I would call quite stereotypical funerals. The difficulty with it is some of the negative associations of colours used actually don't give a sense of balance and moving. It's quite dark, and obviously funeral planning means you're still alive. You haven't gone over to the other side yet. So it's as important with your colour scheme to look at how somebody perceives going into looking at purchasing a funeral plan. So after quite an interesting discussion, we looked at how some of the colours on the flyers and the business change. And fair play, a couple of weeks later I bumped into the same person again at the same network meeting, who came rushing over to say, oh, we've changed our colours, and as a result of that, we're actually seeing things. So as strange as it might sound that the colours that you choose may not seem very significant to you, surprised how much the psychology behind the colour and the analysis of that colour does impact in the way that people view your website, your services.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So what I'm going to say is don't hesitate to ask us any questions. I will be keeping an eye on the chat box. Any questions around web design, any questions around the colors that you should use, Lana's here so that she can help us with the information that you need, so that your website visitors understand who you are by the principles of color. I mean, Lana, I remember doing a color reading with you at a mind, body, spirit show. And for me, I mean, I come from the biblical space. It was absolutely amazing for me to see how people related with color and to color, and to watch them experience being moved from stuck to flow. And so, you know, if you've got any questions around web design, any question around webinar pages, any questions around opt-ins, any questions around SEO, any questions, anything at all around your website, then do not hesitate to ask the question, because we will guide you through as much as we can. What I'm going to do is I am now just going to go over to the website, and there I will make the changes that I need to make. I know that the webinar, how to use the law of attraction to grow your spiritual business, is next on Wednesday, the 6th of June at 2018 at 4 p.m. GMT. So let's go over to the website and let's just put these webinar pages where we need them, and let's make them look fantastic. Okay, so here we are at the website. What I'm going to do is I am going to log in. That's a great start. That's because I had it on in capitals, but there you go. So here we go. We're going to get into the website, and here you can see, let's go over to the website itself, and there we have the webinar page. I'm just going to call up the live chats just to make sure that we're not missing any questions in the chat box. And so here we are in stellarmedia.co, built on WordPress, hosted by SiteGround. We had a bad experience with our previous...
We had a disastrous experience. Essentially, we were alerted by a couple of clients that my website had got a nice error message coming up, and unfortunately, when we contacted the hosting provider, the FTP file server had gone down, and after lots of communication and toing and froing, which they were terribly unhelpful, took the decision to move to a provider, and had to start 6 years worth of work from scratch. But I have to say, I'm so pleased that we changed to SiteGround, because as soon as we joined them, well, the sign up was fantastic, but not only that, the support was incredible. The support.
Yeah, and I have to say that, you know, like you say, we've been creating our online business for the last 6 years. It's fair to say that live streaming is a fairly new content platform for us. We've talked about blogging, we've talked about podcasting, we've dealt with all sorts of different content mediums. But the way that I see things going is, I believe that if you are a spiritual service practitioner, then you're going to need to find a radical way of introducing yourself, raising your awareness, just creating a sense of something different to your potential clients, and live streaming gives you that. Now, I'm not suggesting for 1 minute that you go like I am tonight, for the first time, multi-platform. Facebook Live is the easiest place to start. Hook up your phone. Don't hesitate to change your profile to only me, and just practice. Put your headset in, just go for it. And then when you get an opportunity, just your friends will love to hear from you. So just, you know, Talk to
Give
your,
it a go.
give it a go.
Give it a
Talk
go.
to your friends. Let them know what you were doing, like we did yesterday. We talked about our weekend, our bank holiday weekend here in the UK, and you know, at the end of the day, we're still beginners at this live streaming thing. So, right, let's get into the website because that's really, really okay. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go into dashboard, pages. I've already edited the front page. So now what I need to do is I need to edit the thank you page. We use the incredible Divi theme by Elegant Themes.
Oh, it's lush.
It is lush. Drag and drop builder makes it so simple. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the visual builder. Let me just check that you can see everything that I can see. Okay, so that's really cool. And then all we've got to do here is to change our modules. Now, it may well be that the best thing that I can do is to use the back end builder. But what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and do it through the visual builder and see what happens. I'll click module settings. You can see the title. The webinar is on the 6th of June at 4 p.m. Now, there are some difficulties around British summertime, so I'll have to wait and see what this does. Okay, and you can see that what it has done is it hasn't accepted that on the visual builder. Now that could be for a whole range of reasons, so I'm going to go back to the back end builder, and what we're going to do, it's actually, believe it or not, is actually there, which is, I think there's a bit of a lag, which is absolutely fine. So 6 days, 18 hours, my maths isn't that good, 6 hours. So what we've got to do is that will mean that will take place at 5 o'clock, if I'm right. 6 hours from 9 is 3. So what we need to do is we need to set it for 1 hour back. So what we'll do is we will go into the module, and then we'll make it the 6th of June. And then we will now take this to 3 o'clock, because then hopefully with British summertime, it will mean that everything is working nicely. So just save that, hit the save button at the bottom of the screen. And in the webinar for you as a spiritual service practitioner, there's a little video on that page. I'm sure they will be updating that over the next couple of days. What you'll learn on the webinar is why the law of attraction that you've learned so far isn't working for you, how the law of attraction actually works and how it's applied to increase your spiritual, personal and business growth, when you can apply the law of attraction to best effect, and troubleshooting successful, unsuccessful law of attraction attempts. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm now going to exit the visual builder, and there we can see that that is now 17 hours, so 70. My maths isn't that good. I'm just trying to show you how we change our webinar titles. Here we find the Monarch plugin by Elegant Themes, which is lush. It just means that you can share content, or your website visitors can share content with you, and so that is really, really good. So let's go back to the dashboard. Let's go to our little streaming software. Let's see if there's anything happening in live chat. That's really, really good. Don't forget to subscribe. You can follow us on Facebook at stellamedia.co, follow us on Twitter at stellamedia.co, and what's the other one? Pinterest.com at stellamedia.co. And so don't forget to subscribe on the YouTube channel, which you can do at stellamedia.co/YouTube. that will redirect you to the YouTube channel, and there you'll be able to subscribe. Once you subscribe, don't forget to hit the notification bell, because then every time we go live, you will be able to get that information directly from YouTube so that you can watch it live and we can answer all your questions live on the call. All right, so let's go back. Let's have a quick look. Let's go to pages. And I'm just trying to think, that's a webinar replay page. There's the live page. So really, it's 9:10. What we need to be doing is we need to be going back. We need to be seeing it at 5 hours, isn't it? 5 hours. So it needs to be 19 hours. If I'm right.
You're the numbers guy,
if my maths is okay. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go to the visual builder. Okay, and then let's just have a look here. And have a look. So let's edit that page. Let's have a look here and see what comes up. The countdown timer. Let's go into the back end. I'll show you the back end so you can obviously build that. Now what we need to do is count down, and it's now on the 6th of June, and the time is at 4 o'clock. Okay, so what we need to be seeing now, bearing in mind it's 9:10 in the UK, we need to be appearing at 4 p.m, so that's just over 5 hours. So it needs to say 6 days and 19 hours. So hopefully this will work. So if it doesn't say that, what we've got to do is we then have to just make a slight adjustment. Okay, all we're going to do is we're going to go and view the page. I'm hoping now this says 19 hours. And there seems to be a problem here with Divi. So let's have a quick look. Let's go into, there we go, 6th of June. That's absolutely fine. Let's just check that. Okay, 6 hours. So it says 18 hours. So what we need to do is we need to move it back by 1 hour. Okay, and so that needs now to say 15 o'clock. And now that should say that we're bang on time for our webinar. That says 17 hours. All right, so what we need to do is we need to go to 17 o'clock, and then hopefully we'll be in a position. There we go. That's all marvelous, and everything's done. All we're going to do is click save and exit, then update. And sometimes the cache struggles, so what we'll do is we'll purge the cache. And sometimes the network router can create a problem at the same time. So what we're going to do is we are going to go to the page. And that is absolutely mental, because it looked as though that was absolutely working then for a minute. So let me just go back on here and see what's happening in live chat. And I'm going to try and sort this out. Okay, there's the live chat. Don't forget, ask any question that you like on websites and we will be able to help you. I am going to sort out this live webinar page where the live webinar will take place next Wednesday, 6th of June at 4 p.m. So all we've got to do, let's go back and we're going to try and see. It may well be that there's a problem with Safari. Let's go back to the dashboard. So let's have a quick look here. So 6th of June, that's all correct. And so it may well be So that is absolutely perfect. That's all working. Let's have a look at it on a tablet. That looks really good. There is the content on a mobile. Click save and exit. And then what we're going to do is we're going to update. And I think what I'm going to do, so this page is called live. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to log out, and let's just hope that this now is working. So if I go over to /live, wow, that is an absolute first. And so what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to do some work on that. I will do that work shortly. Bottom line is that this is our very first multi-platform live stream. I have to say I've absolutely loved it. Let me just check what's happening within the platforms themselves. Let's just make sure that everything is working correctly, and it seems to be that we're okay from the streaming perspective across all platforms, which is really good. I'm going to bring up Safari, and then I'm going to come here. And so where are we going to go? Don't forget, all you've got to do is, if you want to keep in touch with us, follow us on Facebook at stellarmedia.co or Stellar Media Co, pinterest.com /Stellar Media Co, twitter.com /Stellar Media Co, and subscribe to YouTube. It's stellarmedia.co /YouTube, where you'll be redirected from the website to our YouTube channel, and then you can keep up to date with us. All you've got to do is hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and then you'll be notified as soon as we go live. Let me just bring this back. I'm going to bring this back to the main camera, and then I think what we ought to do is we ought to think about saying goodbye, Lana. It's now 9:15. It's been a really fantastic experience. How have you found your first experience of multi-platform live streaming?
Oh, is that a question to me, or is that a question to viewers?
No, that is a question to you, believe it or not.
Oh,
that is a question to you.
I have to say, it's quite comfortable. And I'll tell you why it's comfortable, is because, hear this the right way, I'm not concerned with how many platforms this is going out to. Because I think if I started thinking about how many platforms and potentially how many people watching, then that's the scary bit. But the really great thing is, it's the first time I've done it, and it's really...
I've really enjoyed myself, and I'm really surprised at how comfortable I found the whole process. So I guess what I'm going to do tomorrow, I am going to be back here at 8 o'clock tomorrow night, where we're going to talk about graphics. We're going to talk about graphics, what problems you may have around graphics. We're going to talk around how to create logos, how to create YouTube thumbnails. We're going to talk about how to create Facebook covers, anything graphics. We're going to talk about graphics tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Now, all I want you to do, sign up for the webinar if you are a spiritual service practitioner. That webinar takes place, when I can sort Divi out, it takes place next Wednesday, the 6th of June at 2018 at 4 p.m. All right, where we'll be talking you through how to use the law of attraction to grow your business. All right, so all you've got to do to sign up to that is go to stellarmedia.co and sign up, hit the registration button. You will see now that there's the GDPR regulations already on the site. Don't forget, when you've read through the information, there's the privacy policy, the terms and conditions. They'll be on the bottom of the site tomorrow. And so all you've got to do then is just tick the checkbox that you agree with our privacy policy and how we use your data. And then we will look forward to seeing you on the webinar, which is Wednesday, the 6th of June at 4 p.m. How to use the law of attraction to grow your business. So thanks ever so much for making me welcome. I promise you that tomorrow's will be better than it is today. It's one of experience, isn't it? It's quite difficult on the first time of going live. So live certainly across a multi-platform live streaming process. But tomorrow we're going to have a great time where we're going to talk about everything graphics. All right. So I'm going to say goodbye. It's goodbye from me. My name is Michael Griffin of Stellar Media, and it is goodbye from...
Oh, I'm tempted to say it's goodbye from him, but I would imagine a lot of the audience here wouldn't understand the reference to that because of our age. But yeah, it's goodbye from me, Lan, stellarmedia.co.
Thanks very much. Speak to you soon. Goodbye for now.